And of course, trying to keep our history straight when everybody else is trying to screw it up, it's Readout Productions. How you doing?
I'm sleepy.
Woo! Save our history.
Sleepy. What happened?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just sleepy.
At least here I've got 104 degrees Fahrenheit temperature I can complain about making me
No,
sleepy.
I don't want that.
I'll tell you what, though, I'll take that over snow any day. 104 degrees means I don't have to shovel it.
Yeah.
I love snow. What are you talking about? I could run around in shorts and a t-shirt in snow. I can't take off my skin in heat.
I'm not. It's not the cold itself. It's the snow. It means I have to get up earlier. I have to shovel the driveway. When I get to work, I have to shovel out the cars for the fleet so we can deliver, and it makes the job miserable all day. I don't like snow. I used to think
Yeah.
it was fun when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, it's just in my way.
Yep.
But speaking of delivering, I was driving around the other day because that's what I do, deliver. And I went by a Barnes and Noble, and I looked at the building and I thought, when was the last time I was inside a Barnes and Noble? And the only time I could really remember was I was there delivering a package. I thought, when's the last time I was there as a customer? And I really couldn't think of it. And it got me wondering, do brick and mortar stores still have a place in our future? What is the future of book distribution? How is this going to play out? So much is in flux. I have no idea. Down in the chat, we got RC Scott and Andrew Campbell. How's it going, guys? Good to see you both down there.
Hey
And I
guys.
want to know what you guys think too.
Hey
I mean,
guys.
what is the future of distribution for books besides the almighty Amazon?
Campbell, you're not missing much. Believe me. It
What
looks
are you
really
talking
pretty.
about? You're missing awesome goodness.
It looks really pretty in the photographs until it snows. Until you have to deal with it.
If you're
Also
in
eat
a
yellow
cozy
snow.
cabin and you don't have to go anywhere, it's
That's
actually
nice.
kind of nice. As soon as you got to go do stuff, it's miserable.
You get,
I,
wet,
on the other
Yellow
hand,
snow.
you get snow all over you, which then melts, which then means you're wet and it's cold.
Yep.
Um,
Which wouldn't be so bad
like
until that wind
cold.
blows. Yeah, it's not so bad until that wind blows. And I used
Once
to
again, cold is easy to deal with. Hot, you can't really deal with that.
would have agreed with you because I could walk around just like you said, shorts, t-shirt, and in snow. I've gone outside barefoot in the middle of winter to smoke a cigarette, and it didn't bother me, not in the slightest. Sometimes I walked through the snow barefoot to the car to get something, and I was all right for a few minutes. But then I lost over 100 pounds, and holy crap, I didn't know what cold was until after that. Now I can take the heat of summer just fine, but the slightest breeze, I'm like, whoa. It's like I shed my winter coat or something. I can't take it no more.
See, I grew up in colder climates, so I'm just climatized.
Well,
is why-
I thought I was too because I've spent my whole life in New England, and snow is a
Yeah.
way of life around here, unfortunately.
you see, this is why you need to invest in a standard issued federal overcoat. It'll do wonders for you. That wool will keep you warm. It'll also make you look kind of epic with the cape.
now,
Let's see.
I think it was,
Andrews Campbell says, I just get sunburned at the beach year round in Australia.
I think it was the last weekend or the weekend before one of the days of the open house. I spent at a half price books, and that may be the way some things are done in the future.
I mean, as far as the brick and mortar on the shelf bookstore.
Yeah, because they end up buying old used books and then turning around and selling them for a lot less.
Yeah, the way things are going, I mean, I could be way off, but the way I'm seeing it right now is I think the big, like Borders and the big chains and all them Walden Books, they're probably going to go the way of the dinosaur. Unfortunately, I used to go hang out in them when I was back in R.A. Salvador all the time.
Oh yeah,
But
You could go
I think the
hang out.
mom and pop shops might have a bit of a different future. Not nearly as big as theirs, but something a little brighter than we're seeing right now.
yeah. I think one of the problems with the big, huge stores is they have a lot of square footage that they're paying monthly rent on, and if they can't sell enough junk, then they can't pay the bills.
Yeah. But that also it brings us to another issue: the issue of physical copy versus ebook. And I got no problem with ebooks, but I always I think we're all in agreement. Physical copy is always best to have that. But as you know, also I every physical copy I get an ebook version to take it with me, and I keep the physical ones safe on the shelf
Yeah, well,
where I'm not going to spill coffee all over the pages.
I'm hoping that the mom and pop shops could do the same thing that I'm trying to remember is Walden Books and Barnes and Noble. I think we had in a couple of our local malls when I was growing up, and I think both of them could just like if they didn't have the book immediately, they could order it in. Now, granted, it would take a couple of weeks to get in, but if you could tell them what the book was and they could look it up and find the ISBN number or whatever it was, they could order it. If not, then if I could find the ISBN number or whatever, then I could give it to them. And they could say, okay, let me look that up. Okay, yeah, we do have it, or that's no longer, that's out of print.
See, where I live, because I live up here on the coast and the water's so freaking cold, most people like to buy a book and read by the beach because, you can't really swim up here. It's freezing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming from
All your
Alaska.
parents come down from Alaska, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's you can get hypothermia in friggin' 90-degree weather here. But so for me it's weird because all the little mom and pop book shops are thriving. But this is the ideal spot for that. I don't know what it's like on the mainland and in the main areas.
Tough for me to say as well because last time I really went through any mom and pop bookstores, it was down at the coastline. So it's kind of mirroring that same circumstance. The only difference is you actually can swim in the water here.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Even though we're about the same, what is it called? Longitude.
Mm-hmm.
We're about the same longitude, but you got that coming right down from Alaska. Where what do we got over here?
You're
Is
getting it from down south.
we get the yeah? I think we get a lot more coming up from the south here than you do there. I'm not
Yeah,
certain
well,
of that. I'm no meteorologist.
here they'll do polar plunges in the middle of summer for workouts and stuff, but they won't stay in the water very long. They can't. Their bodies cannot physically handle it.
I did one of those once. It was January 1st at Ocean Beach here in Connecticut. And when I agreed to it, I was like, I don't really want to, but whatever. I can deal with it. I can deal with cold just fine. And then the day of it, I was sick as hell.
Yeah.
I
No,
did it anyway. And then after that, I went to work.
not to let my brother's ego get any bigger if any of you've met him, but he's actually pulled out a guy that was drowning to hypothermia. Like his body went into complete shock, but my brother, being a trained rescue worker, knew how to get into the water and was able to pull him out. That's how
awesome.
cold it
Not
is
the
here.
hypothermia part, but your brother able to do that.
Yeah.
That he's like trained himself and prepared for an unlikely scenario and stepped up. Kind of
Well,
like this
he's-
guy.
Hey, keep going.
Show
Well,
me,
he's
show
a-
you. Kikoman. Hail all.
He's a trained firefighter, and because we're out here on near the ocean, he has to have water training.
No, Andrew Campbell. We don't see. I mean, there are sometimes sharks around, but I mean,
My
for the
water's
most
too
part,
cold. We got orcas.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can get some sharks around here. That's very rare that we really see it, and it's not like great whites or anything that we see coming through here. We do sometimes get orcas, or actually not orcas. We get dolphins through here sometimes, and of course seals and that kind
Yeah,
of thing. But
I think sharks are
yeah, no
more-
sharks, and also no crocs. I mean, go down to Florida, you got gators, but
Florida's
up here
got
in New
sharks.
England, we don't
I've
have
seen
that.
them.
Oh, Florida has sharks, yeah.
Yeah, I
Coon
think
shark.
I think the Gulf has a lot of sharks, and like the lower East Coast has some sharks. But once you get up to a certain point, the sharks kind of disappear.
Yeah. For me, it's orcas, seals, and otters.
Most of the time, I'm dealing with the ocean. I'm looking for stripers. I haven't been fishing in forever though. But anyway,
Salmon.
So, what do you think? Are the big bookstores, are they still going to exist 10 years from now? Are we going to lose them?
No, I think they're dying. I hate to admit it.
The Crocs ate most of the sharks north of me.
I
Yeah,
believe
well,
that.
if you want to get rid of your Croc problem, then we could just introduce a certain little cat to Australia called the jaguar. If they put jaguars in Australia, oh
Dude,
man,
the
that would be such
Barmese
an
python
upset.
are eating the gators out of the Everglades.
Yeah, but my point is jaguars eat caimans, so if you introduced them to Australia, it would be a huge upset for the ecological balance.
Yeah, they already have problems
But
with
you get rid of a
birds.
lot of the crocs. When you said no crocs, I thought you meant the slippers. Do you
Kikoman.
think the big stores now? I mean, they may not have a future as they are at this time, but do you think they have a future? Maybe in maybe like a smaller way. Like,
Here's the way I think of it. Unless more people go back to hardcore media, which I'm starting to notice people are realizing that they don't own the digital, unless we all of a sudden have a huge cultural shift that wants to go back to physical media, no, the digital is cheaper. The stores are going to, not the stores, but the publishers and stuff are going to keep pushing that because it gets rid of the middlemen, the physical stuff, and they can basically charge people for
Baji, no one has
letters
a
and
problem
numbers.
with or doesn't want to have physical media. It's actually your fucking retailer's the one who pushing for digital shit.
Yeah,
Well,
Big
that's what
stocks
I
are fucking
mean.
thing. All they gotta do is put a code, fucking digital
But
code shit.
that's exactly what I mean. Unless people start making a higher demand for the physical, they're gonna die out.
I mean, clearly they'll probably
Baji, the
still have a
physical.
future online, but I wonder if they'll still have any physical locations whatsoever.
Look what
yeah.
happened to Hastings.
I'm not familiar with Hastings.
Hastings used to be a used movie and bookstore where you could go and buy used copies of stuff, but they relied so heavy on the part of their budget was for renting movies, they couldn't adapt and they all went out of business.
Ew,
Uh,
boy.
you guys familiar with Books a Million? Bam.
No,
That was
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, that was
Speaking of
a store
that,
we had around here for a little bit. I don't know if it's still there. How you doing, Stormcrow? Thanks for sending me that message earlier and reminding me, oh crap, the show's about to start.
The Books a
you
Million
see,
in Clarksville is still there.
sir, that's why I'm here. You're going senile, so I have to remind you. Hey,
What do you mean
Daddy.
going senile? I've been.
he's got some timers. Just learn to accept that.
No, I'm not accepting shit, Maji. Okay? Today's been fucking rough. I got out of my goddamn school. I'm sweating like a goddamn pig. All right? I don't gotta accept shit. Okay?
Well, if you're not accepting shit, then how about giving us a little bit of shit? What do you think is going to happen to the future of brick and mortar bookstores?
All right. I want to say that the nothing's gonna happen to them. That nothing, they're gonna be part of our lives because I love going to a brick and mortar bookstore and getting me that book, right? But the truth is, with the inevitable march of time and the fact that Amazon is this fucking cancerous, monstrous little leviathan that's gonna devour everything eventually, they're going to go the way of the dodo. I'm very sad to say.
Hey,
Uh,
James.
Now, do you still think these companies will continue as like a online book distributor? Like you can order it through them, but that's about it.
No, I think they're gonna
No.
completely shut down.
It,
And eventually, which side is going to eat the other, Apple or Amazon?
I
Well,
think I think there will be a decrease in at least the availability of the big ones. A couple of them may completely shut down forever. Some of them may figure out a digital online thing. I don't know. Some of them may just decrease the number of stores that they have, because like there's lots of various different retail stores that are shutting locations all over the country. I found out one of the Walmarts in Kansas City. Now, granted, it's like the neighborhood grocer or what are the neighborhood grocery store deal that Walmart has. That's the one that's shutting down. But it's weird because I've never heard of a Walmart shutting down, and the location that that one is in should be in prime location to sell stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just competing with too many local grocery
Maybe.
stores.
About 5 years ago, we actually had a Walmart in this area shut down, which surprised me.
Well,
I don't.
The ambiance of the crow's mic makes it sound like he's reporting from the Wrangler News chopper overseeing of tonight's Wing It.
I am technically overseas. I am overseas my mind. You know, my
Thinking you are there, that sort of thing.
I'm here, but I'm not. You know,
Everybody's got to be somewhere.
not necessarily. I don't have to be real. According to Erwin the author, I don't have to be real to do the things I need to do.
Yep, and we should all take anything he says very seriously. Hey, here's a thought. Decentralization seems to be more and more likely. Do you think we
Yeah.
might start seeing smaller bookstores, still brick and mortar, but in a regional sense? Like you go in, you're going to find books from a different set of authors in this region than if you go to that region because authors live in that area. There's more and more independent authors. And I wonder if that'll be a thing. Like the closer you get to where one author lives, you'll see more of their stuff on the shelves.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be small mom and pop shops going off of the mainstream publishers with some independent creators mixed in and a huge selection of used popular known books.
Yeah.
It'd
Pretty
be
much,
great if
that
we
sounds
had
like
a.
the selection
It,
you see at a big box store.
It'd be great if we had a brick and mortar store for indie creators, especially brand new indie creators. The problem is the cost for that mom and pop shop to buy enough copies of these new material to sell them compared to what the mainstream is. That's the sad truth of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you guys mentioned that because this is my crazy ass dream in the future if I get enough money to do it. Me and my best friend want to open up basically like our own like amazing epic comic book
That was
store, right?
great.
And you know for a fact that the minute that does become a reality, you guys are gonna be featured prominently in like the selection. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna have Iron Age books from you guys, independent books from you guys, and hopefully DC and Marvel will be sold dirt cheap. That way, real people can start making real comic books again.
DC and Marvel are fading off the shelves, bro.
Yeah, but I would like to kind of brings us back to it, fading off the shelves. I would like to see physical locations where they start, you know, where indie comics could be made available. I don't know if that's plausible or not, but that sounds like could be a really cool thing to see happen.
Yeah, no, but I
Because
agree with Crate. Used bookstores are usually probably your best place to go.
yes, and it sets my mind on a place in Niantic, Connecticut called the Book Barn, and it's pretty much it is a mom and pop place. It's pretty decent size. It's been there for a few generations now, and people go in with their old books, trade them in. They can buy other ones off the shelf, and yeah, it's all pretty much just. I think it was from local swapping that built up the whole collection for the most part. I mean, I'm sure they order shipments of different books. They'll order a book for you if you go in and ask. But I would imagine they're seeing more and more a decrease of that because people are like, I want a book that's hard to find. Let me look it up on the computer. Okay, I'll have it shipped from there. And so when do you go in and browse a shelf anymore?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty smart.
But I don't want our culture to lose that where people used to go and people used to meet and make friends at a bookstore. Hell, at a place I used to go to called the News Rack, and it was just a small little it's magazine shop and comics, and people used to meet, make friends, just hanging out there, going through the comics on the spinning rack, and that's
Shoot.
just that was such a cool part of our culture that seems to